tapes and clippings regarding your show, Nardwaur, the Human Serviette. We have discussed it at our recent talent meeting, and unfortunately, do not feel it is right on our show. I was like, okay, but then it really kills me. Thanks for thinking of the late show and for taking the time to write. Okay, this is great. Enclosed, please find the tape you sent us. Like they couldn't even keep the tape around the office. Yes, you have a question. Sir, yeah, you have a question.
Sorry if I hold them arm up, I think I stink. But I really like your personality, and I'm an artist. I'd like to know if you listen to my music.
And the thing is, what are you called?
A derailleur.
Derailleur. I love the fact that he is handing out a CD. Yes, I love CDs, and yes, I will listen to it because it's easy to push in a CD rather than play a Bandcamp. So thank you very much. I love when people hand us CDs because it is something actual physical. Yes, I'm sorry, you have a question.
Yeah. You talk about how you spend...
How does Lloyd do?
Oh, he's good.
Did that give a bit of insight?
Yeah. Great. You do about a week of research for each person. Can you go through how you actually start your research when you sit down and sort of how do you begin?
Well, I always write down who are you? My friend. But yeah, I guess in the beginning, it used to be for research, or I used to begin with the hard-hitting questions before. For instance, when I talked to Tommy Lee, he had, around that time, had, been on a speedboat and used his member to honk the horn on that speedboat. So I wanted to ask him, was that speedboat rented in the video with Pamela? But I saved that question for the end. So it used to be in the old days, I would right off the bat and ask that question. Or I would pad that question. I was like, well, Tommy Lee, you have a guy called, in your band, Methods of Mayhem, called Tilo. And Tilo loves TV. He loves Mr. Rogers. Speaking of Mr. Rogers, and you have the song, I went out at night and I saw lightning. Speaking of lightning, sometimes lightning hits boats, and sometimes you honk the horn with your dick. And that's usually the person, after all that intro, is like, oh, well, yeah, I did honk the horn with my dick. So I have learned to pad the information. So yeah, and usually a lot of the information is given by the actual publicist. Don't ask Tommy Lee about honking the horn with his dick. I never knew that. That is amazing. So again, a lot of stuff out there. Yes.
Was Pharrell the only artist to flip it and ask you interview questions?
I was very surprised. Yeah, it was a lot of work getting interviewed. I must say that. But he's one of the few people that suddenly, I had no idea that would happen. I thought I would do the interview, and then suddenly he came out of the blue and confronted me. Yes, a question.
I just was wondering, who else have you been waiting on? You waited on Henry Rollins for 13 years. Maybe your top 3 that you just really want to interview if you could get the chance.
Well, I would love to talk to Kanye West because I've shipped the records so many times to Vancouver. I would talk to any of the greats, like Little Richard. I would love to talk to him. I'd love to talk to Brian Wilson. You have a question? Sorry. Oh yeah. That's 2. Well, Brian Wilson, thank you. I love that Lloyd is a classic CITR listener, always putting you in your place. Oh, you did the presentation, but you only gave 2 people. Little Richard, Kanye West, Brian Wilson, that is 3. And actually, your CD too. I will check that out as well. But yeah, you have a question for me. Again, you are all listening and watching Nardwaur's Video Vault.
How do you go about choosing which artists to to interview, even undiscovered artists, or do you look at the YouTube comments and see, oh, interview this person or that person?
Well, I guess I will get to everybody because everybody will probably end up in the casino. Oh, a cassette tape. That is another physical thing. I really appreciate that. But how do I decide? Oh, another physical thing. I really appreciate, for instance, at first I would only interview punk rock people. And then somebody said, there's rap music, you should talk to Snoop Dogg. And somebody said, you should talk to metal. And somebody said, you should talk to Nitzer at Noise people, like Genesis P. Orange, etc. So it's kind of I will talk to any, now I am stupid. I like that Trump thing. I was offered the interview with Trump 3 years ago, but I didn't do it. Like I remember like, even like dropping off my friend at a gig, and like, what band are you going to see? Oh, I'm going to see the Pixies. And it was their last show ever in Vancouver. It was like, the Pixies are stupid, you know. Like, I remember I did a promo for CFR Radio. It was like, fuck the sugar cubes. Here's the cramps. I could have talked to Bureau. Like, so I guess to answer your question, now I will talk to anybody. I will talk to anybody. Eventually, I will get to them. However, in past, it has been very regimented, and I was stupid.
Who was your very first interview?
You can actually see that on YouTube. If you Nardwaur's first interview is on YouTube. It was with the guy Art Bergman from the band Poisoned. He had the name not Poison, but I interviewed his band because he thanked our high school in the liner notes for his record, and that's why I interviewed him. So you can see me asking the questions, and I did find out that he thanked everybody. He said he thanked everybody. But yeah, Google Nardwaur's first interview because he said that was on September the 26th, 1985. I was in high school. I was the gig organizer of that Poison dance, the band Poison, and I remember they wanted $1,400 to play the school, but I talked them down to $13.98. Was up the charge. High school dances.
What would you say is perhaps the most